Kia ora, it's Logan, the Massey Kai Whakatoa Hakinakina. Term 2 has seen students from Massey Primary School, Donbuck Primary School and Hobsonville School take part in a range of sport, active recreation and play experiences. With schools now moving away from COVID restrictions, this term we've been able to get really stuck in with our physical activity opportunities. Take a look at what we've been up to.
Students from new entrants to Year 4 from all schools in the Massey cluster learnt about the Māori creation story across 5 30-minute sessions. In the story, the Earth Mother Papatuanuku and the Sky Father Ranginui are separated by their sons to let light into the world and give them space to explore. The storytelling was supported with pictures and games that involved doing the same actions as the different atua or were themed around their different responsibilities. Rongoma Tāne is the atua of kumara and cultivated food, and in this game, students worked in teams and raced to harvest Rongoma Tāne's kumara using a ko or digging stick. Tamariki have loved adding the Māori creation story to their kete while being active and having fun. Some students even had a go at telling the story with the pictures to their classmates at the end of our last Atua Games session. Students from new entrants to Year 4 from all schools in the Massey cluster also took part in Samoan Language Week activities. First, they learnt the Samoan Sasa slap dance. Some students who remembered learning it last year were keen to help teach the Sasa to their classmates. After learning the Sasa, we played an adapted version of the Samoan game Tolafonga. Traditionally, the game would be played on a long woven mat with coconut shells, and players would try to slide the shells as close to the end of the mat as possible. We drew long mat-shaped boxes with chalk and used beanbags or small soft toys and tried to land them as close to the end of the boxes as we could. This term, in our bike sessions at Hobsonville School, we focused on developing our tamariki who are still learning to ride a two-wheel bike. Students first developed their balance skills by sitting on their bike, scooting with their feet and gliding. We called this giant steps. Students were encouraged to put their feet up on their pedals and try pedaling when they felt confident in their ability to balance. We have had great success across all age groups, with all students showing progression and most having learnt to ride a bike within a few sessions. Our vision is for all students at Hobsonville School to be able to ride a bike, and we are making great steps towards this. Massey Primary School and Donbuck Primary School students from Year 4 to 8 had the opportunity to learn Ripa Rugby. Learning started in class with a video and discussion session where we covered rules, gameplay and any questions tamariki might have. Some key focuses for us were moving forward, passing backwards, correct ripping and getting back on side after a rip. We worked on these in drills and games like passing waves, continuous rip, ripper bull rush and the numbers game, and then put our new skills into practice by finishing each session with a game of Ripa Rugby. For a sport that has a lot of unique rules, students showed an eagerness to learn, and this was reflected in the improvement in skills and game knowledge, as well as the quality of our Ripa games. I also coached teams from both schools that went to a Ripa festival held by Harbour Rugby at Moya Park. We held trials and selected teams which trained at lunchtimes. Students have enjoyed developing their abilities further, being part of a team and representing their school as they took on other schools. We have another festival at the start of Term 3 and both teams are building nicely towards it. Donbuck Primary School was introduced to the invasion game Castles. The aim of the game is to get into the other team's castle and steal their gold, which is a yellow ball, and bring it back to your own side either by running or passing. Through playing the game, students learnt zone defence and different ways of attacking as a team, like wave attacking. Students and teachers ran a castles competition between their waka groups across 2 weeks and held the first and second and third and fourth playoffs on their whānau day in the last week of term. The waka points tally for the term came down to an intense final with Green taking out the castles competition as well as the overall points. The school's whānau day was wrapped up with an awesome teachers versus students game, won by the teachers. Helen from the Green Bay cluster and I attended a taonga tākaro workshop run by Heoranga Pautama and Sport Waitakere, where we learnt some traditional Māori games that we could add to our kete and use in our schools. Hobsonville School had a hangi day to celebrate Matariki, and so we played a game that I had been introduced to at the Taonga Tākaro workshop called Poi Rako. First, tamariki took time to get familiar with their rako by balancing it on different body parts and moving it in different ways. Then we got into the game. Students had to use their hand-eye coordination and listening skills to react to the calls quickly to outlast their classmates and win the game. Thanks to funding from Tūmanua Active Aotearoa, some of Dombuck Primary School's Year 5 and 6 students had the opportunity to go to Snow Planet and experience their Winter Wonderland activities. We got kitted up and spent 2 hours on the tubes and toboggans racing down the slopes. This was a great opportunity for these students to experience something which they may not have before. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed the trip and couldn't wait to share stories of their experience with friends and whānau.
The students have engaged really well this term with these different forms of physical activity. We've packed a lot of quality experiences into term 2 and it shows in the development of our tamariki. And now we're looking forward to getting amongst another term full of new opportunities. Ka kite.